start this one first, and then we'll get down and get dirty. Okay, let's start this. Okay, so we'll give the 11-second. Oop, hang on a second. Stop it. Gotta start back at the start. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and. Yeah, boy, that Bill really got it going on, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
It was money well spent, that was.
Yes, that was. Well, it's us, the kings of comic book media. Give them our introduction.
Hello again, everyone. I am your co-host, Dennis Osbourne, accompanied again by, of course,
Wild and Woolly Wallace Ryan.
There you go. That's alliteration at its finest. That's Stan Lee level there.
And it's issue 11 of Thursday.
Issue 11, yeah.
Of Thursday Comics.
So,
whoa, we're rocking it.
We might have to do a double-sized issue 12, like they tend to do after a year. We lasted a year.
Yeah, an ugly dozen. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's funny because I was looking back through my diary, reading about the one of us leading up to our Christmas shows and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh yeah. Then there was the big interruption there, but geez, we've been at it now steady since
pretty consistent. Considering all the stuff that's on the go, we've been pretty consistent with everything. So, well.
Yeah, well, besides the COVID, we had huge snowstorms up here too, right?
We had Snowmageddon and then the COVID. So, and like I'm still working.
Yeah.
So, because I'm classified as essential.
Yeah. Well, you were.
I am essential.
Very essential.
Right. Copious amounts of alcohol.
And I'm still doing some work myself too at home. It's getting weird, man.
Right.
It's strange being by yourself. Well, I mean, you have a family around you when you're home at least. I'm here and there's no one in the freaking house. It's just like, what the fuck's going on here? You know,
you get me for an hour every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I got to go outside to restore my sanity some days. And well, geez, today was the first time in a month that I've seen my daughter and granddaughter, and it was a shame. Couldn't hug them, right?
No.
You know, we stood there and chatted and had a grand chat and all that, but stayed a good distance apart. I even put on the mask and washed my hands with the hand sanitizer you provided.
But you do what you have to, and here in Newfoundland we're doing well. We've had six consecutive case-free days.
Exactly, yeah.
So they said, like, yes, they're starting to flatten the curve, and it's looking well, but you don't want to be like, all right, we can go plan the parade right now.
Yeah. Time to hold the regatta early this year, right?
And, like, you can tell, so we're always, like, we're friends, we don't live together or anything like this, but when we come here, we do maintain a distance. There's 5-6 feet almost here separating us at all times, so we don't greet each other with, the big hugs or anything anymore, so.
And there's no the fist bumps forever now, right?
That's all cut out, so.
I actually used to shoot the toe tap there today. I met a friend of mine I hadn't seen in 20 years down at Food for Thought around the corner of this health food place, and had a grand chat, and as he was going, I said, see you later, and we were like, it's funny because you're like half wanting to shake hands or whatever, and we just stuck out our feet, we just tapped each other's shoes. There you go, that was good enough, right?
I had an incident coming in here, on my way here, I had to stop at the bank really quick, and I was coming out the door, and a lady was coming in, an older lady, so courtesy is you hold the door for them.
Yeah.
But she was stopped and panicked because, yes, I was holding the door, but she would still have to come within a couple of feet.
Yeah.
So I was like, so do I be rude and close the door in her face? Or do I risk, contaminating her or myself or something?
Rude. Rude. So what'd you do?
Well, she's like, I'm a little paranoid. You can go now. I went, okay.
Right on. What I hate though is you're walking down the street and you got people walking up, and they don't move to away from you. I end up having to go a little bit out on the streets to get around people, right? It's just like, for fuck's sake, people, right?
Well, if anyone's walking in I know it can't be in a group, but like a few people, and you're walking on the road, they tend to just take up the whole sidewalk.
Yes.
And they're spread out. Instead of going in a line.
Single line, exactly.
File,
yeah.
They're just taking up the whole sidewalk, and I'm walking up, and I was like, all right, who's going to be the shithead in this situation? Am I going to plow through them, or are they going to just, like, fold into a single line?
Yeah.
Or am I going to go out on the road and get hit by a car?
Yeah. Or am I going to walk by them doing fake coughs to freak them out, right?
Have a big coughing fit. If you could throw up on command, you would.
Well, this one got, I mean, we mentioned this just before we came on to, and this one's been pissing me off about, and I know I usually wait for it towards the end, but see how we're talking about the whole social distancing. The people down the stage, you know, these right-wing nuts and all that come now with guns and stuff like that, and, you know, mad because they can't get a haircut, and I mean, these are supposedly, you know, the preppers, the people who got their, you know, their bomb shelter in the back and they're ready for the end of the world. And after a few weeks, they lose their shit entirely, right? Meanwhile, all the rest of us normal people, you know, who didn't buy 10 tons of toilet paper, are having a grand time. Right. You know, great, you know, economically, it's been a bit of a strain. But for fuck's sake, if this is making you lose your shit, man, you ain't never gonna wait out the end of the world, right?
Well, because it's the government telling them what they can't do.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd be perfectly content being in a bunker for 2 years. Yeah. All right, stay in a bunker. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, all right, go do whatever you want.
But the funniest thing I seen the people, especially the healthcare workers, who really are on the fucking front line of this thing, when I seen them standing up and in front of lines of their traffic, which I thought was, now this is bravery. Yeah. These are people who are like, if these people who are in their cars barbering are claiming to be patriots, no, they're fucking losers. They're traitors to their own country.
Yeah.
They're betraying everyone's safety for their own stupidity.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing I'd laugh at is you see some of these protests, and some of these protesters are like wearing masks and all that. It's just like, oh, you really believe in your cause there, Junior, don't you? Or I even noticed when they're like, and I mean they come up screaming at these nurses and people like that who were standing, but and spitting apparently.
Yeah.
Which is just like
disgusting in general.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Even pigs don't spit, for God's sake, right? And but I noticed one thing: they don't touch them.
They know better.
And if I was one of the nurses, I'd say, "Come on and punch me, because you don't know what I got, baby."
Look, I know a couple of nurses. Nurses are immune to everything.
Yeah.
Because they have
they've been exposed
to everything possible that floats around, every virus ever going around.
Yeah.
So they're immune to God knows what now.
Yeah.
So.
And it just sickens me to see these people who are not essential, shall we say? These nutcases and gun nuts and freakazoids taking on people like, you know, your nurses and your doctors who really are. I mean, I've seen some footage of like a few wards, and it's just like gurney after gurney after gurney. Filled, like the hospitals were being overwhelmed, right? And it's funny how in America their system is being overwhelmed. And yet here in Canada, our system is doing quite fine, right? I mean, that goes to show you what a for pay medical system does. They only have so many ventilators because there's only so many rich people who can afford them.
It's true.
And now that the shit's hit the fan, they're screwed. Where I bet you we got more ventilators in the health science center here than they do in all of New York City, right? I mean, they're everywhere. When I was going through it was like a ventilator for every hallway, practically, right? So we're ready, right?
We're covered, so.
So anyway.
That's your rent out of the way.
Yeah, we got our rent out of the way. Let's talk comics.
All right. So we got a couple.
So we apologize, or I apologize, but I just, once we got going on that, it just had to be done. Okay.
We got a couple of topics. We got 4 to talk about.
Yes.
One very personal to you, which is good. The comics of the family, which we'll bring up. And then I just got listed just COVID comics and what you've been reading and what you've been recommending to people. And I mean, I found the weird little tie-in X-Men issue I was talking about before this. So we'll talk about that. And hopefully someone has an answer for what I'm going to bring up. So now I got listed, I got the Diamond DC Spat, where DC had got an alternate distributor of comics and stuff. Personally, I don't like it.
What's with that, right?
Because I said before, the good thing about Diamond, where it is beneficial to some comic shops, is the price breaks.
Yeah.
And I said on the last episode, if people don't know, the more you order through Diamond, the bigger price break you get.
Yeah.
Which is more beneficial. So the more you order, bigger price break, more profits a comic shop makes.
Cha-ching, exactly.
If they go to an alternate distributor and you order less through Diamond, your margins and the price is higher, less profit margins.
Exactly.
So you're getting like a 5% discount maybe through this new one, you're getting a 5% discount through Diamond, but if you combine it, you may have gotten a 20%.
Yeah, it's when I heard about this, it's just like, geez, DC, you're screwing us without even a kiss or hello or dear John letter. It's and you know what? This is going to be remembered when it all opens up again, and there are a lot of store owners out there who, I mean, I even heard our pal talk about and saying, people who are really pissed off on it, and you bet DC will pay a price for this, because there are a lot of store owners out there who are pissed at this, and they'll say, okay, when you reopen again, I'm gonna get my Batmans, my Supermans, my this, that, but I ain't gonna get all your shit titles.
No.
They're gonna be tossed and they should be anyway. They're gonna be tossed to the wind, and I'm just gonna treat you like any other thing and just buy all your best titles and screw the rest of the things. If someone wants a particular crappy title of yours, sure, we'll get it in.
Right.
Well, we're not going to take any of your second tier anymore. And I'd love to see that, because basically to me, this is almost like trying to reopen early.
It is.
Is what DC is doing. They can't handle, while all other companies seem to be handling it quite well, they can't handle the little bit of hardship. And the worst thing is, they're part of fucking Warner Brothers, so it's just like, you got money up to wazoo, and if you can't ride out a couple of months like that, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and you got smaller companies like Black Mask and Boom, and they're like, hey, you order a book from us online, we'll give half the profits to your local comic shop because they're closed.
Exactly.
Right? You got DC almost being like, hey, no, we want to get our books out. We're essential, basically.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? No, you're not.
Yeah, really. I mean, as much as we like to think that they are essential, we know deep in our hearts, no, we're not going to die without a couple of new comics for a couple of months.
Right. Marvel, people are complaining about Marvel, but I was like, Marvel did the right thing, and if you're not going to do something good, shut your mouth and say nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
There has been a word from Marvel at all.
No.
And they're just like, we're going to stay quiet. When this blows over, we're going to be like, hey, we're back publishing again.
Yeah.
And ship it and running out.
Yeah.
And you're trying all this stuff. You're just stirring up controversy.
Yeah, and this whole DC thing, I mean, well, the fact that Marvel, like Joe Biden, is just sitting back and saying nothing, and letting the opposition implode in a cloud of craziness and bad decisions.
Yeah.
It's just like, who the hell is in charge at DC? Is it a half-eaten sandwich? Right? It's I apologies to whoever it is, but you're really fucking up big time.
Yeah.
When I read that about especially the whole thing about getting these distributors involved and then that partnership with Midtown Comics, whom I never liked in the first place, it's just like, holy God, talk about it sounds like you're just concerned with the big boys.
Yep.
So you don't get. It sounds to me like you don't give a fuck about all the small stores that have sold more comics than Midtown has or whatever, right?
One thing might be okay. Comic shops are losing money, obviously, but a lot of them are doing curbside pickup and stuff like this. I noticed because you're posting pictures for Downtown Comics and stuff online, and people are buying old stock up.
Oh yes.
Jason cannot keep a puzzle.
Oh yeah.
He mentioned to me.
Every bloody puzzle gone.
I went down because obviously you're saving a bit of money on comic books. And I was like, no, can I go get something? I'm like, give the comic shop a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of action figures I had my eye on. I ended up getting a couple of back issues. I knew that was there. Jason helped me get them and stuff like this. You're clearing out old stock.
Yeah.
Dead stock that's not selling is zero profit.
Yeah.
You're now getting something. Yes, your sales are down, but you're clearing out your inventory. surplus, which is a good thing too, to some degree.
Yeah, and I think he's doing enough, as he says, to hold his own for now. But and this is another thing that put out the call too out there for comic book fans to check out the curbside service of your local store. But also, besides puzzles and stuff like that, and games are actually selling very well too.
Yeah.
Besides that, buy yourself a trade paperback.
Right.
Right, or a couple. Now there was a lot of that as it was leading into the shutdown.
Right.
Because I can remember at the shop there were a lot of people who bought a couple extra, and they even said it right behind this. Well, the same when it was with Snowmageddon here.
Yep.
When it was leading into the big snowstorm, people bought a whole shitload of graphic novels, not comics, but of trade paperbacks. Yep. And and as a matter of fact, in the pick of the week this week, we threw in because he draws for free comics every week. Right. Little stack of free comics. Threw a first volume of Saga. Into the mix.
Right.
And this is great. You might get a few extra readers. But yeah, besides all the essentials, get out there and buy,
Buy something you maybe, look, if you got any, people don't have a lot of extra money kicking around.
No.
But like if you were like myself, and you had a little bit of extra money allocated for comic books, and you got a little bit, pick up a book.
Yeah.
Pick up something you maybe had your eye on. I'm not telling you to go down and buy a $1,000 statue.
No.
But if you're like, hey, I was looking at this series, I might see if I can pick it up. It's a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
It's this and this. Now is a great time to shop locally.
Yeah.
Because if you buy from Amazon and stuff like this, they're only shipping essential items. You're not getting your item for a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Which
is
great.
So, and I love that too, because it's really the local comic book stores are picking up the ball there that Amazon thankfully has dropped, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Amazon, there's another company too with firing people for protesting against bad health conditions, stuff like that. It's just like people. These are the type of people you're supporting, as opposed to supporting our buddy Jason down there, for instance, who's a nice guy who's in it for the comics and all that. Why not be buying it off your local people? Just like Jason, buy from your local guy and have your money stay in the community.
Yep.
Rather than giving it to these sons of a bitches, right?
And he'll pack up your item for you, bring it out, hand out the machine, tap the card.
Yeah.
On your way.
As a matter of fact, he's even taken, people, if you want, they can give him the card number over the phone, and he'll enter it manually into that. So all he has to do is bring out the pack with the bill in it. Here you go. Pass it off to him.
Yep. All good.
And off they go.
You'll give it total if you needed it and go from there.
Yeah.
Right? Now I saw today you posted pictures.
Yes.
You posted pictures of all Marvel Legends. And they've been figures that have been there a while. And somebody commented, is like, can you put this one aside for me? And Jason's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the neat thing. And we've been doing a lot of that. I mean, we did. Now it takes a while because we just met. We did one last week with the action figure section down at the front of the store.
Yeah.
And basically took everyone off the wall and took a picture of it.
Yeah.
And same thing happened. Well, what happens too is some stuff tends to get buried because Jason's stuff, it's wonderful. That's what I like about it though. It's packed overflowing with stuff.
You need to dig.
Yeah. And
dig and rummage and you'll come across
something gold. And I rearranged the entire section too. I saw that. Oh, I pulled them all really close together and stuff like that, right?
I remember. We still got topics, so we're probably running a little bit short on time. But I remember talking 2 years ago. I was down at the shop and had time to kill, and I was rummaging through one of the bookcases, and there was stuff behind bookcases.
Yeah.
And I held out the Dark Horse Frankenstein library hardcover.
Oh, cool.
Which is long out of print. I always wanted to, and I was just like, all right, I'll buy that.
I've been on the checkout there sometimes, and people have brought up something, I've looked at it, and it's just like, oh, damn it. I really had to, I almost feel like, oh, well, sorry, but that's not for sale anymore. But, and of course you can't do that.
You can't do that.
But it was, I've seen some stuff pass before, it's just like, shit, why didn't I see that, right?
Before all this went down, I was just poking through the back issues, and I came across the complete series of Fool Killer.
Yes.
Which you used to talk about before. I was like,
oh, great.
This is a bundle of like 1 to 10, maybe?
Yeah.
I think it was 10. And you're like,
oh, all right. So worth it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there was a great little bargain for, in the back of the store like that.
$10, maybe $15, $1.15 issue.
Yeah,
less than cover.
Right? And it's a great series too, right? I was personally very pleased that you got it too. It was just like, oh, excellent, right? Because it's one that I wanted a comic book reader to read.
To read and enjoy. Because you told me about that famous thing with the auto shop spelled wrong.
Yeah.
The quote. And I went through and I was looking for that thing so I can see it and everything and understand it. And that's what's neat, right?
Yeah.
And you enjoy stuff like that. Should we move on to next topic?
Yeah, sure.
Because we're kind of a little bit short. We'll go through a couple of quick ones. Eisner nominations will go ahead without San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
you can still vote online.
Yeah, and if you want someone to nominate, there's always me for best letterer.
Right, because there's someone who wins, every other year has 17 awards or 18.
Todd Klein has won 18. So come on, guys, give a guy a break. Right. Not only that, but I'm still I'm a holdover from the hand lettering. So So a vote for me is a vote for hand lettering, right?
And you can check out through Black Mask.
Yeah.
Nobody's in Control. See Wallace's work like that.
Yep.
I mean, it's gorgeous, and it's a hand lettered. It's a forgotten style now because of digital and all this technology and stuff. So it's a lot of care, a lot of effort goes into it, a lot of collaboration.
Oh yeah.
Between everyone, writer, between artist, letterer, everything goes through. So.
Oh, me and Paul, we discussed, the placement of the balloons and the sound effects. We really work on those. And not only that, but as I was telling you before that, because the writer, I used to use a lot of exclamation marks and all that, and said, no, I want periods. So I invented the Wallace period, which is basically a normal comic book period, but it's thicker. It's like an extra bold period. And I find they work perfect. And
you mentioned with the exclamation point, that's a holdover from a lot of Silver Age comics.
Yeah.
They use a lot of them. Because you said a lot of times periods might not come through with the printing process.
Yeah.
So they did exclamation points to kind of, not so much for emphasis,
but
to actually have
the end of the sentence. Yeah. And I even, and the other thing too, check out the lettering, you'll see my question marks are different. I've invented a whole new different type of question mark. So it's just, vote for the innovators. Vote for the little guy.
I got listed a new Kickstarter started, a new Dreadstar story.
Oh, yes. I'm loving that.
By Starlin.
I looked at the artwork. Very nice.
I sent that to you, and you're just like, you know what to do. And I was like, you tell me the price thing, and we'll go from there. It's a nice companion piece to the trilogy set that was out, the 1, 2, and 3, which might be available through Diamond now, I think.
Yeah,
well, not right now, but...
Yeah, I think Jason said something about so far only 1 and 2 have been solicited through Diamond, right?
Probably the perks of getting it through Kickstarter, you got it all in advance.
Well, that's why I want to do it, just in case it's sold out, or same with the Strangers in Paradise last year.
But it's hitting a ton of stretch goals. You can get the regular edition hardcover. There's bonus things. There's a source book, I think, that you can get with it, so... you just got the hardcover one solicited for now. Yeah. But it is hitting a ton of stretch goals. You can buy comic books, all the variant covers and stuff like this. They're very accurate with their shipping. They're fast with their shipping. Yeah. When they get it out, which is really nice. And you can kind of trust them. It's a trustworthy Kickstarter. Yeah. So if you're a fan of Dreadstar, have any collections
which
before,
I am.
Right? I know you are. It's a good Kickstarter pickup.
Yeah. Oh, when you sent that to me, it was just like, I almost fainted. It was like, holy shit, oh my god.
And it's really nice, so.
Yeah, a definite must have.
Yeah. So we got one more topic, which we mentioned earlier, and then we go into our COVID comics. Yes. And that's basically during isolation, what have you been reading or picking up on or learning about or anything like this. So it's the comics for the family.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, that's a because I teach and I have taught comics at the Anna Templeton Center here in St. John's, Newfoundland. It's where we had our Pure Comics festival and all that, and a great crowd there, great crowd. And Beverly Barber has been the administrator for all these years. She just recently ended her term, but she did amazing work there. really put together a world class center of art there, and now this our new person taking over, Amy. She's continuing doing a great job too. It's great to see that. But but of course we had to cancel all our classes and all that.
Yeah.
And she messaged me there last week or 2 weeks ago and said, we're thinking about doing, we're doing a series of videos to put out there, crafts for people to do while at home and all that. And would you do one for comics? So it was just like, sure, okay. And so it's just me chatting a little bit about comics and then giving out a bit of homework assignment and that sort of stuff. And geez, it went over really well. We had on the first day alone, we had over 700 views, and I was just like, oh my god. And I posted it, and it's on our page too. I posted it to the Thursday Comics page. So if you want an activity for your kids, it's a great little thing to put out there. It's I one of my students, Henry, and he's a great little guy. He's really good at comics and all that, and he really took it to heart. And so I just can't. And it's for people students like Henry and all these people, and even me and Paul said it too because Henry gave us this beautiful Christmas card at the Christmas Jam, and it had like a little stage cut out of the card and these little figures on popsicle sticks, so we could do our own little play and all that. Oh, I still have it to this day. It's a treasure. And we looked at each other, and it's just like, this is why we do this jam. Yeah. Not because we're making any money, because it's free.
Right.
It's just because we're spreading the gospel of comics to great little kids like Henry and all the rest of the bunch, Sammy and all the regulars at the jam, right?
Right.
Starting to miss not having the jam.
You missed that, and I know it's looking unlikely that the Pure Comics thing is year probably going ahead. But
I think we can make that official. As a matter of fact, the Pure Comics Festival of Graphic Literature will be postponed for this year.
Yeah. But it's that time of year. If anything happens to change, we might work something out.
Yeah,
we might do like we were talking last night about doing like a Zoom thing with us, and like if you can do a Zoom with you, myself, or Paul, or a couple of other people, and just have brief chats and stories, and watch people live draw, do live video things. Do something like that might be a bit of fun.
That might be
right?
an idea, yeah. Well, you never know. The hamsters are always moving turning, in these wheels.
So we'll just keep everything posted on that. And
yeah.
You'll update everyone on Thursday Comics and Library of Graphic Literature and a template to center will probably be notified about all that and everything. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah. My God. So as you can tell, our studio is right next to a street here.
Right, and people are still out and about apparently.
Yeah, I know what the problem is with people on motorcycles. Anyway.
Last topic is COVID comics. So it's been 2 weeks since we got together.
Yeah.
What have you been reading, looking up on, checking up on, organizing, anything of note?
Yeah, I've done a lot of organizing anyway, stacking up books here. But I did get some reading. I've been reading. Actually, I with my Terry and the Pirates series, I actually was only like maybe about 40 pages left in that book, the very last one in the series. But it's been years since I did it, so I took it out and I started from the start again, just to get back into the flow anyway. Right. So that is Steve Canyon too, and Dick Tracy. But the other one was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Tempest.
Okay.
And I'm loving it. It's not for everyone. It is kind of an acquired taste because there's a lot of obscure references that your average American may not get or whatever. But I'm loving it. It's a complex